video. It's 7 in the morning. I got up at like 6:40 to get as much sleep because my friend is going to show me landscape photography stuff with this ND filter. I'm so tired. A couple days ago, I got myself a variable ND filter for my mirrorless Sony a7 III. With this, you can shoot continuous waterfalls with ease. But I'd never done it before, and my friend Mark has done a lot with landscape photography. So he offered to show me how to do it. With already some knowledge of the basics, I went out just to see what I could get, and the result was a lot better than I expected. We went out to a place called Falls Creek Falls in Washington. The waterfall there stands about a couple hundred feet tall. It's really, really massive and immense when you see it, and we got there in the morning and there's these amazing light rays coming in. You can see in the video earlier there. So we tried to capture it. So when setting up shots, we also looked at composition, and that both includes like the rule of thirds and really just leading lines and what interests you in a picture. You don't want to just take a picture of everything in it. You want there to be different focal points in the picture, or even just one. The focus shouldn't be the entire picture, but on a unique story that you're trying to tell through it. After that is the settings. If it's pretty sunny, you want the ND filter to be pretty dark, and then you want your shutter speed to be at least a couple seconds long to get the continuity of the waterfalls in the picture. After that, you want to set the ISO as low as you possibly can to minimize noise, and you want to get your f-stop down to 16 or even lower if you can. That'll just help it be more dark and will really help with not getting your pictures too overexposed, which is what I initially had problems with today. After this, we went to a place called Panther Creek Falls and got some more shots there, although there was limited versatility because part of the area was closed off because of an accident before, so we could only really shoot from the boardwalk, and if you're like my friend, you could walk into the literal stream with some waterproof trousers and take pictures there. After this, we got back to his place. He showed me some editing techniques, some of which I already knew, a few which I didn't, which included photo stacking and creating the continuous water effect without even having an ND filter, which is really cool. And then after that, I went home to try it out for myself. Hey guys, so we're here and ready to edit. So before we get into this, I want to show you guys quick, big mistake I learned right away, almost too late at the beginning of this. So when I first started taking pictures, I was just super excited to have an ND filter, and I just wanted to get it because the light rays were already there and it looked so cool. So I got in position, did it, I set it up on my camera, everything looked good. But then after I took the picture, it was super, well, okay, first, it looked freaking amazing. And I was like, dang, what have I been missing all my life without having an ND filter? But then I looked at it later and realized, shoot, a lot of this is super overexposed, and there's no detail left in a lot of the water, actually, because it reflects so much of the sun. So back here at the very beginning, there's also a bunch of, it was raining, so it was, and the lens is pointed up, so there's a bunch of rain smudges on it. But see, some of them look fine, but like this one, oh my goodness, it looks super cool, and you could see a lot of detail in the places where there would be shadows, but in the waterfall itself and in the sky, it's this thing is blown up here. It's just way too high. So here, if I come and bring the highlights down, I guess, wow, it still does retain a little bit of the detail in the water, but I guess Sony saved me a little bit, but still not ideal. Not ideal at all. So anyways, I just quickly edited a couple of these, literally less than 5 seconds. I'm not done by any means, but those two look exactly the same, almost. Did I edit that one, or is that just there? Who knows? No one knows. I edited this one though, a little bit. You can see. Okay, so let's find a fresh one and do that. My friend also taught me this thing where you take like, if you don't have an ND filter, you just take 20 to like 50 shots, and these are all underexposed because I wanted to overcorrect for that so I didn't mess up again. This is probably too underexposed though, but I took them at a bunch of different exposures to be fine. Anyways, you take like 20, 25, 50 pictures at just like a normal shutter speed, like 1/50th of a second or whatever, and then you can combine all the images together using something in Photoshop, and it gives basically the same effect as an ND filter would, because it's essentially doing the same thing. That's nice because you don't accidentally overexpose it, but it takes long because then you have to wait for it to load. So I don't actually have the full version of Photoshop right now, so I'm not going to do that. So this isn't even long exposure, that picture right there. That's with my zoom lens, and it's just like, just a little bit longer exposure than normal because it was a little darker. So it was, but see, you can see the actual details in the water. That's not what you want for these types of pictures. So ooh, that's a lot. Let's find something we can work with. Why am I talking in this accent? Who knows? Okay, see, this looks good. See, it's not overexposed, and Sony's having a pretty high dynamic range. You can retrieve all that detail. See, if you just throw it up, boom, you can still see some of the detail there, which is super nice. Super nice. Yeah. Oh. No, not wanting that. But yeah, you can see that the big problem I had, come back to it again, is I would want to wipe the ND filter off more because it was so much, because it was raining in the sky, and also like the mist from the waterfalls coming out and hitting it, which essentially it was kind of impossible to not have mist on it, because you know, if you leave the exposure open for like 4 or 5 seconds, it's gonna get water in that short period of time, and you can't exactly wipe it off when it's in the middle of taking a picture, because then there'll be this weird ghost of a hand there, so that's not really possible. Anyways, yeah, so I'm not doing the actual fancy techniques right now, but I can show you guys a little bit of just like beginner, like what well, this is actually my first time ever really shooting any landscapes of anything. So this is episode 1, waterfalls. Oh yeah, one of the ones down here would look cool if I can find one that's not overexposed. See, even this, look at this, all the shadows are crushed down here, but it's still like a spike of overexposed, which is mostly the sky, but still, it's annoying. See, look at that right there. It's white. It's absolutely no information's left up there. That's why you don't want to do that. So be careful, guys. Okay, let's try to find, and this is why you always take more pictures than you need, and find hopefully the good ones, or if you find multiple that you have different things you like about them and they're shot at the exact same position on the tripod, you can combine them. Just kind of cool. Where is it? Where is that? I don't see it. Oh, sky. It's the sky. The frickin' sky. Come on now. I think, oh, that one's really the sky. Not bad, you know? This one, there's no overexposed parts, but then boom! The other thing about this location is the sun would just come out super intense for like 10 seconds and it would go away. So when you're in the middle of shooting long exposure shots and does that in the middle, it's like it messes up all your settings, because it's like, well, what the heck. So then this one's good again. Ooh, that one has cool like little sun glare stuff. So maybe we'll do this. Sure, we'll do this one now. Okay, so first thing I usually do is see all these black parts, details. Like this is kind of like common with landscapes, and like transfers over from portraits and really any photography, is you want to lift the shadows at least a little bit, and so you can get more of that detail that was lost in it. Then obviously you see after you do that, then the image looks a lot more flat, so you have to compensate by doing other things. So, and then ideally, if you have too much stuff on the highs, histogram's pretty important, then you want to like bring down highlights. But it looks like that's already fine for now. You don't want to have them too high, because then the water will just be blinding. But I usually bring up the shadows a little bit and then bring up the blacks, so like it's not too, you know, strange. But yeah, you can see the histogram is still really heavily down on in the shadows. So you want to try to adjust that. The way you do that. And then typically down here I do like an S-curve-ish thing, just to keep it. And basically all an S-curve does is just make it like a little more contrasty, so it looks cool. But I got some work to do to make this one not too contrasty. Which that's I keep forgetting things. Another thing you do is, especially if you're like doing a portrait and the face is in the shade, you wanna make exposure higher. Not that much higher, because wow, that's intense. But just a little bit, just a wee bit higher. And then after you do that, you can bring down the highlights so it's not too much. See, but that already looks a little better now. It's not too dark. Which is a nice thing. Don't like too much darkness. Too much darkness is bad. You can tell with the ND filter set all the way to, I think 9, is this corner and this corner black almost. So that's kind of irredeemable, so I might just want to crop that out. But you can see the water looks legit, super mystified and such. Oh, how do you, there you go. I'm trouble loading here. But yeah, there was a lot of mist, and that kind of led to like the hazy effect. It's literally just water floating about the sky and the sun reflecting off of it. Which is kind of cool. So yeah, after that base stuff, and then maybe take the contrast a little bit more, make it a little bit more dramatic. And it looks like the shadows are still... Yeah, because you want your histogram to be fairly spread apart, ideally. But really, it's like, it's more up to like how it looks to your eye that determines it. Because if it, you know, histogram can look perfect, but it can just be like a slab of black, white, and gray paper, you know. So, just want to adjust accordingly. That's too much. Bring down the blacks a little more. Not that much. This is a challenge. I should have chose a better picture. The other ones I edited super quickly because they weren't the black streaks in the corner. Any hoozles. A little bit more. A little bit more. That's a lot of contrast for a picture. Maybe not as much. Maybe that's not as ideal as I... But you can see when I bring the contrast up, these go down more and this side goes up more. It's actually good. Struggle is super real. Maybe he'll just let some of it live in the shadows. Maybe it's fine. I should have found a better example. That's okay. Then from here, you have some other sliders. Clarity. You guys should already know this, but like it makes it like super detailed or like super like, wow, what the heck is a weird flat dream world type thing. So usually if you adjust that, you don't want to do it too extreme, just like a little bit in either direction. I like adjusting if I have to do like just more saturated. I like doing vibrance more than saturation. It brings up different colors. You can't really see. And then it helps to go down to here to the HSL adjust, and you can like make colors less saturated or more. So like if I wanted to, I could take out the green. I guess most of it's yellow, so yeah, I could make it super yellow, which you wouldn't want to do. Really subtle changes is I find is like best, at least for my workflow. Yeah, see that right now it looks too little too saturated. Maybe I'll show you guys the other example. I think I messed this up while trying to explain things somehow. It doesn't. I might have to do this again. Boom, filter. I'm just kidding. Boom, other filter. That's cool. Anyways. Oh yeah, also it can help to like adjust the temp just a little bit, like depending on what mood you're going for. I just don't want to do too much, but see that looks nice. That's a nice mood. You got some blue and some like yellowish hues to it. In any case, oh, this is the one I just did earlier. So this one, all I did is I literally did this in like 10 seconds before I started recording. I boosted the exposure because it was underexposed, and then took down the highlights to compensate for that, and then boosted the shadows, and then actually, yeah, lifted the whites and blacks. So it's just overall brighter, but like it looks really cool. Like even this log looks dreamy for some reason. I don't know. I think it's just the ND filter long exposure effect. Okay, so we get that one. Get that one that we just did that I don't actually like. I gotta figure out how to fix this. It's the frickin' black things on the side is like literally the only thing that's messing it up. Maybe we can just frickin' crop the dang thing. Ooh, now we're living. Instagram does squares anyways. Yeah, so that looks a little better, more refined. It's back to the beginning. Other one, I barely edited this one a little bit. I just made it. Oh, literally all I did is bring up the shadows, bring up the vibrance a little bit, and then a little adjustment on that. That's the bad example I was showing you guys. This is the other bad example. Ugh, look at it. Look at that. Ugh, disgusting. Here's another one. Literally just contrast up, highlights down. It's all best you could just play this all by ear. Ideally, you'll have to do less work though if you just take the picture well, if you set up a good shot. So you just want to think about, so I want to put this crop thing here, you want to think about lines and where things are in it. Obviously there's a rule of thirds, but you can overdo that and just do everything in thirds, and then it just looks like I'm tired of thirds. Sometimes you just want things in the center, you know. But point being, a lot of this stuff is artistic choice, so it's nice to be able to play with these different things. Ooh, another thing, another cool effect I was going to show you guys, which I like doing, is if I can, but if you come up here and you lift the very bottom, it gives this cool, like, they do it a decent amount in macro photography, but it basically, you lose some of the detail, but it like lifts it up a little bit, and it looks like real, like, hipster, like, it's legit, you know. Obviously, you don't want to do too much, but so that's too much. But yeah, that can add some spice to it. There's a lot of things you can do with these, but overall these turned out well. I'll try to do that fancy trick that Mark showed me with like the burst ones and trying to figure out that whole thing. However, I'm leaving for a road trip in 2 days and I'm shooting a wedding tomorrow, so that's not happening soon. So this was my first time going out and like doing landscape, and this is the first one, waterfalls. So obviously nothing I did was perfect by any means. Biggest mistake probably being that I didn't bring like a special cloth to like completely fully dry out the lens very frequently, or at least like cover the top of it without covering the shot. So basically you want to not do the same shot that every single human being alive has taken at this place. So like for instance, the second spot we went to, there was just a boardwalk that overlooked the waterfall. I guarantee you there's thousands of pictures from that exact same location, some better than others, but point being, they're all going to look the same because they're all going to be from the exact same perspective. You don't want to do the exact same perspective as everyone else. Like, it's just not as fun unless you're adding something completely new and different to it. Just try to avoid that. You can do it, but like always try to get new and different angles. This log here is also like a leading line. It kind of leads to the waterfall and then back up this. You can also just like, this is like very slippery slope. You can easily just be like, oh, all the lines are so important. Like this stick right here is pointing to this rock, which means that life is valuable or something. Like, they're just lines. And for some reason we like lines. We also like smooth round things, which is why we like dreamy pictures and why we like these types of waterfalls, because it's smooth, it's like buttery, it's nice. So give you guys the settings, get to a good location, get a unique angle, think about the way things are playing in the scene. If you can get even like a character or like a person there who has to, if he's gonna be in the picture, he has to stand completely still, because any movement during when it's taking the picture is gonna make him blurry. But you always want to have like some sort of character. Like this log is like even kind of like a character in the scene because it's like a different color than everything else. And it's kind of difficult to tell a story with landscapes because it's really like the main story is just like, ooh, look how pretty, because there's no people in it, you know, or like animals. It's like we're like taught to like think of stories as being always about people, but I think nature's kind of telling a story too. So really just get out there, get the right settings, get an ND filter, be creative, and just play around with shots, and eventually you'll just get better if you just keep doing it and keep doing it. And I'm just starting, so yeah, if you guys have any advice for me too, that'd be cool. I want to learn things. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Goodbye. Wow.